hard. I am so sorry. I just got out of bed. I didn't fix my hair yet. I didn't even put my contacts in. I just was so excited to get to today's lesson. I'm still in my pajamas, but that's okay, isn't it? Okay, thanks. Well, I'm so excited today for today's lesson. Today we are going to make bar graphs. Woo! I'm so excited. Let's get to our essential question, and here it is. How can you draw a bar graph to show data in a table or picture graph? That's what we're going to find out. Let's unlock the problem together. Let's read our problem. Jordan took a survey of his classmates' favorite team sports. He recorded the results in the table. How can he show the results in a bar graph? First of all, let's look at the data. Here we have favorite team sport. We have the sport. He gave them the option of soccer, basketball, baseball, and football. And then we can see by the tally marks how many students voted for each of these sports. Let's look at our first step. How do we put this data into a bar graph? Step 1. Write a title at the top to tell what the graph is about. Have we heard that before? Yes! Always put a title at the top of any graph or table that you are making. Label the side of the graph to tell about the bars. Then we're going to label the bottom of the graph to explain what the numbers tell. So let's take a look at that. Right here, we're going to write the title of our bar graph. What should our title be? What? I couldn't hear you. Oh, that's right, the same title as our tally table. Favorite team sport. Okay, we're going to put favorite team sport right here as the title. Here on this sideways line, we're going to write the group name of what these other options are. And we can look right here and see that they are sports. So we're going to write sports right here on the side to show what these groups are. And then on these lines, we're going to label the different sports. Soccer, basketball, baseball, and football. Then we're going to choose numbers for the bottom of the graph so that most of the bars will end on a line. Since the least number is 4 and the greatest number is 14, make the scale 0 to 16. So we're going to make the scale from 0 to 16. And we're going to mark the scale by 2's. Watch. And there we have it. We see the title of our bar graph. We see the label telling what these words mean. And then we have the different categories or sports that he actually asked them about. And then here we have our scale from 0, always at the first line is 0. We're counting by 2's, and we end at 16. And we've labeled this the classmates' votes because as we read in the story problem, he took a survey of his classmates' favorite team sports. Now what do we do? Let's find out. Step 3, we're going to draw and shade a bar to show the number for each sport. We are going to use a horizontal bar for this bar graph. So we're going to look up at soccer and we see that there are 5, 10, count by ones, 11, 12. So we're going to make a bar starting at the 0 for soccer all the way to the bar for 12. Then we go back and check on the basketball. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for basketball. So we make a bar from the 0 to 4 for the basketball. Next, we count the votes for baseball. 5, 10, count by ones, 11, 12, 13, 14. Baseball, 14. So we make a bar to the line for 14. Then we go back and we look at football. There are 5, and then count by ones, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 9 is an odd number. It's not even. So where do I make the bar end for 9? That's right. I heard you say that, boys and girls, between the 8 and the 10. And that is how we make a bar graph. Now let's look at another problem. It says make a bar graph of Matt's data. Let's find out who Matt is and what his data represents. It says that Matt's school is having a walkathon to raise money for the school library. Matt made a picture graph to show the number of miles some students walked. So here we have a picture graph that shows how many miles some of the students walked. Here's our title, School Walkathon. Here are the names of the students that he chose to graph. Sam, Matt, Ben, and Erica. Who can tell me what is the most important part of a picture graph? I heard a lot of you say it. Good job. It's the key. Before we do anything when it comes to a picture graph, we must look at that key. That key is a clue, and it tells us what each of those pictures represents. So here it says each t-shirt represents 2 miles. So each of these students went 2 miles for every shirt shown. All right, now we need to make a bar graph of Matt's data. What should we use as our scale? Yeah, we should count by 2s because most of these are evens. And we should start at 0. How far do we need to go to show our bars? That's right, probably 10 or 12, depending on how many lines we have for our bar graph. You guys are super smart. What's the very first thing that we need to do before we put a scale and our numbers on our bar graph, boys and girls? That's right, we put our title. Here we have the title of our bar graph, School Walkathon. Here we put the miles walked. We said we started at 0 on that very first line, and we are going by 2s up to 12. Underneath our bar graph, we put the label of students, and then we labeled each student, Sam, Matt, Ben, and Erica. Now, we're not making a horizontal bar graph. What kind of bar graph are we making this time? Good job. We are making a vertical bar graph because our bars are going to go up and down in a vertical line. So here we go. For Sam, let's go up and count how many miles Sam went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sam went 5 miles. What? Did Mrs. Arden make a mistake? No. What? Oh, I forgot that each shirt represents 2 miles, doesn't it? Ah, thank you. I heard all of you reminding me that the key says each shirt represents 2 miles. So I can't count by 1s. I must count by 2s. Let's try that again. So for Sam, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Woo, okay, so I start at the 0 and I make a bar, a vertical bar for Sam up to the 10 line to represent 10 miles. Wow, I don't think I could walk that far. Then we have Matt. Matt walked 2, 4, plus 1 is 5. So Matt walked 5 miles. I heard you already saying it. Good job. Between the 4 and the 6 is where we put the 5 for Matt. You You guys are so smart. Then we have Ben. Oh, poor Ben. He must have been tired that day. That's Mrs. Ard. Maybe Mrs. Ard was walking with Ben. There we go. Ben walked 2 miles with Mrs. Ard. So here we go. We make his bar up to the 2 miles. We don't judge. He had a bad day. It's okay. Maybe he was on crutches. Who knows? Let's look at Erica. Erica walked 2, 4, 6, 8. Good job. 8 miles. So we're going to make the bar graph up to the 8 line. That is our bar graph that shows the data from Matt's picture graph. Now let's answer some questions. Use the graph to answer the questions. Which student walked the most miles? Think. Which student's bar is the tallest? That's right. Sam's bar is the tallest, so Sam walked the most miles. How many more miles would Matt have had to walk to equal the number of miles Erica walked? Well, first of all, I'm going to circle the names of the 2 kids that I'm looking at in the data because I don't want to get confused with who I'm looking for. I'm looking at Matt's data and Erica. It also says how many more miles would Matt have had to walk. So let's look at how many Matt walked. Matt walked 2, 4, 5 miles. Erica walked 2, 4, 6, 8 miles. How many more would Matt have had to walk to equal the same number of miles as Erica? That's right. 8 minus 5 equals 3. So he would have had to walk 3 more miles to equal the same number of miles that Erica walked. How many miles in all did the students walk? First of all, I heard you saying that, boys and girls. You are catching on. We are going to circle the words in all. What does that tell us that we need to do? Combine. That's right. And when we combine, we're adding all those numbers. Here is our bar graph again. We have Sam's 10 miles plus Matt's 5 miles plus Ben's 2 miles plus Erica's 8 miles equals, I'm going to use the associative property. I'm going to add the 8 and the 2 together because that makes a 10. I see I already have a 10, so that's 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 5 equals, everybody, 25. Good job. So, how many miles in all did the students walk? 25. Good job. All right, boys and girls, that's it for today's lesson. Tomorrow we're going to do a fun activity on making and reading bar graphs. Have a great day.